Zoom meetings are here to stay, and there are several options to make them more exciting with virtual backgrounds and filters. But what if you could take it to the next level by joining your next meeting as a live animated character? In this workshop, I'll show you some character animator basics and what you need to do to integrate with Zoom or any other video conferencing or live streaming platforms. The only thing missing is your creativity. First, you will need Adobe's Character Animator software. It is included as part of Adobe Creative Cloud, and Adobe offers a 7-day free trial. Character Animator is a powerful live animation software, and I learned everything I know by watching YouTube tutorials by David Warner, otherwise known as OK Samurai. In fact, many of the steps I will cover in my workshop today can also be found in some of his videos. I will not be covering details about how Character Animator works, but I will show a few tips and tricks. The nice thing about Character Animator is that all you really need is a webcam and microphone, and it does most of the work for you. It recognizes your head position and facial movements like your eyes and eyebrows, and uses AI to translate your voice into various mouth positions for realistic lip syncing. Once you have Character Animator up and running, you can download one of many free puppets and dive right in. I selected Tull, an animated cat, because he has several expressions that enhance live performances. The puppet structures can be built in either Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator, and any changes will automatically be synced up with Character Animator. The only change I made to Tull was to give him some fun t-shirt options. I also added a cartoon background. Once you get familiar with how puppets are set up, you can create your own using some predefined templates for either Photoshop or Illustrator. My wife Natalie drew a version of me in the style of this old 70s Super Friends cartoon, and I assembled the parts into an Illustrator file. There are several hidden layers for different shirts, colors, and styles, various hand positions, mouth shapes for visemes, and even a few props like coffee cups and reading glasses. Once the file is imported into Character Animator, each layer is linked to tags for various head and body parts, and behaviors like head movements and draggable handles that allow you to further control your puppet's movements. Swap sets allow you to switch between things like hand shapes and t-shirt logos by clicking certain keyboard keys. And you can also record a series of movements and triggers as a replay and assign a keyboard key to those as well. If you go to the Stream tab and select the refresh layout icon, you can add these triggers to the control panel. You can rearrange and delete any unnecessary ones by selecting the layout mode. Once you have your puppet and scene set up and ready to go, you need to download a few more applications and plugins in order to broadcast to a live Zoom meeting. For this part, I'm going to enlist the help of my friend Tull. Oddly enough, Tull and I sound almost exactly alike. Take it away, Tull. Thanks, Dave. In order to stream to Zoom, you will need 4 parts: Character Animator, NDI Studio to transmit your scene, streaming software like OBS Studio, and Zoom itself. The first program you need is NewTek NDI Tools. There are several NDI tools available, but the 2 that are required are NDI for Adobe Creative Cloud and NDI Studio Monitor if you're using a PC, or NDI Video Monitor if you are using a Mac. Once you have it installed, open NDI Studio Monitor and select the menu icon on the left. You should see your computer name in the drop-down and an option to select Adobe Character Animator. When you select it, you should see your Character Animator scene in the window. Hey, that's me! Next, you need video streaming software. There are several options out there, but I will be using OBS Studio, which is free and open source. The only watch out is that you will also need another plugin installed for it to work with NDI. You can download OBS Studio from the link provided, and once you have it installed, search for NDI OBS plugin and select the first search result you see. Scroll down to the latest updates section and select the most current version. That should redirect you to a GitHub download page. Select the Window or Mac installer and follow the instructions to install. Now we're ready to get everything set up to stream. Open OBS Studio and add a new source using the plus icon. You should see an option for NDI source. In the source name dropdown, select your computer name and then Adobe Character Animator. You should now see your live puppet in the window. There may be an audio delay with the lip sync, so in order to test and update this, go to the mic and audio settings and select Advanced Audio Properties. The 400 millisecond delay worked best for me, but you can test this out by recording a few clips at different settings and checking the replay. The last step is to enable live streaming in Character Animator. Select the Stream Live icon and make sure it's highlighted blue. Control-click to go into the settings and select Enable Mercury Transmit, and then select NDI Output. Make sure to deselect the Disable Mercury Transmit output. Finally, you're ready to stream your puppet to Zoom. Open Zoom and go to Settings, Video, and select NewTek NDI Video as your camera. Be sure to uncheck Touch Up My Appearance and adjust for low light. Let's give it a try. Thanks everyone for joining. This is my little attempt to join a Zoom call as a live animated character. And the cool thing is, I'm actually wearing this actual shirt in real life, so it's not coming through the video, but I thought I'd kind of showcase that a little bit. But the nice thing is I can always kind of change my shirt anytime I want. So since this is for JusticeCon, I thought I'd just throw on my JusticeCon shirt, just for
that feels
for grins.
Yeah.
And the one thing in real life, I'm actually wearing glasses, so I do have a pair of glasses I can put on. But the nice thing is, when I'm an animated character, I don't have any vision problems, so I'm just going to take those off. It's a little easier. And this is cool. My wife actually drew this version of me, and as you can see, I'm doing as I'm talking, my lips are moving. She actually had to go in and draw 15 different mouth shapes. That, and what I did is actually recorded myself making those sounds, took a snapshot. She pulled those into Photoshop and kind of drew over those and got them all added to it. So it's pretty cool.
Quite a bit of talent for her, my goodness.
Oh yeah, she's an incredible artist.
Yeah.
So the other thing I can do is actually change characters. So it does take a little bit of a delay whenever I'm changing the character. The audio kind of gets out of sync a little bit. So I'm going to just double click on one. There we go. And I like this one. This one is a pre-made character from the program. His name is Tull, and he actually helps out with a lot of the tutorials. Kind of added a little commentary as I was going through and highlighting some of the tips and tricks.
Why does he have to have a Flash T-shirt on?
He doesn't. What's your favorite?
Why should he not have a Flash T-shirt on?
Who's your favorite?
Exactly.
Justice League character.
I mean, he needs to have an S shield on, I feel like.
I feel like he should. I think he needs to have a lightning bolt on his chest, or
yeah.
Why not both? Pull a world's finest from.
Yeah, let me see what I can do.
There. You put a Green Lantern symbol in there.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I'm talking
you know
about.
what?
Now we're okay.
Okay.
Things
Well,
are good.
I didn't get a Green Lantern, but I've got Batman,
Nice.
got Wonder
Very
Woman,
cool.
Aquaman, and Cyborg, of course. So
Oh,
all the
good.
key characters.
Representing everyone.
I guess I need to get a
Yep.
Martian Manhunter
Martian
and a
Manhunter
Green
one.
Lantern as well. Maybe even a Darkseid. Just
And Martian Manhunter.
yeah. But I'll keep switching through these as we're going through. So
Okay, so no preference. Okay, I
Yeah.
see how it is.
so this this character is pretty cool because there's a lot of predefined facial movements. So all I have to do is go through. I've got this little dashboard where I'm able to click, and as I'm scrolling through, I can actually change some of the settings and everything.
Oh,
I
he
can be
looks so
sad.
Yeah.
I can cry. If I've got a question, I can always say, I don't know what's going on. Of course, I can always get angry, but I don't get angry that often, so that's not me. My wife likes this one the best, but only for her.
Oh,
Only
good
for her.
Lord.
Also did one probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I was trying to do a little animated series. Didn't really get off the ground because I just ran out of time. But I always thought, and see, I'm stuck a little bit. I always thought it would be cool to
Jurassic
do
League.
a
I
Jurassic
remember.
League. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like the S curl.
Jurassic League.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
touch.
It actually,
Yes.
if I move around, it actually has a little gravity setting on it
Oh,
too.
there's a
It's
little
pretty cool.
girl. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like
unfortunately,
His tiny little arm.
I know. Unfortunately, I can't really reach the computer to do any things because my arms are too short now.
Neither
so-
could he. Neither could he.
Yeah, so I've got Super Dino.
Not sure how well this plan was thought through.
Yeah, so he's got his friend Tarot Man, which is a pterodactyl version of Batman, and that's as far as I got. I did a little teaser for it, but yeah, it was kind of fun. And then I just did one yesterday, like the past couple of days. I threw this one together,
Oh, that's
Nice.
sick.
and
Love
this one
it.
is this one is cool because actually I incorporated some head turns, which is another technique that you can do. I'm actually physically turning my head, and it's recognizing the turns as I'm going through. And the cool thing about this
that's awesome.
background, this background is actually the Chicago cityscape in Legos. And
Wow.
if you recognize the building back there, that's actually from Batman versus Superman and Justice League, Heroes Park.
Nice.
That's the Aeon building. So this is actually in Legoland in Chicago. I actually went there a couple of years ago and took this photo. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Of course, you know, this suit's nice and everything, but sometimes you gotta make some updates. So I can do that as well.
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah, and this guy has a couple of looks as well. I can get really angry if I want.
So it looks like he's biting his lip.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a little worried. And of course, I can be sad. But mostly, Superman's he's just a happy guy.
Can you do heat vision?
You know what? I thought about that. And if I would have had maybe one more hour this morning, I would have given him heat vision.
That's a pretty dangerous Zoom meeting, though.
Yeah, I don't
Somebody's
want to hurt.
using
I don't want to hurt
heat
anybody.
vision on you.
Actually, it would probably just damage my computer, so I don't know how well that would work.
You'd always try to wake up that person that's fallen asleep in the Zoom meeting by doing
Exactly. So I'm actually going to go in and share my desktop and show you guys a couple things because it's pretty cool. There we go. Let me know when you can see.
We can see it.
All
All
that. I
right.
can see it.
So this is actually the user interface. So you can actually see myself up here in the upper corner.
Yeah.
See how it's actually tracking my face? I was telling Andy before everyone joined that since I'm wearing glasses, it sometimes has a problem recognizing my eyebrow movements. But if I raise my eyebrows, sometimes it'll recognize it.
There was a point where he was like saying like he's sounding in a like his voice got a little brighter, but his eyebrows just like went down. I'm like, is he angry? Is like what is he trying to say?
Yeah, and the nice thing is it obviously recognizes the
the lip syncing through my voice, but it does recognize a couple of real simple ones like a smile. And I can do a surprise face. So those are the ones that are recognized just through the facial movements itself. And like I said, if I can kind of turn my head and it'll track the movement.
Is it tracking it through your camera?
Yeah,
How does it,
yeah.
How does it? Okay.
So I've got the webcam up here at the top, and it's just recording me as I'm doing it. And I'm using my better microphone because the little webcam isn't really strong, and the signal has to be pretty strong for the lip sync to work really well. So that's why I've got the really nice camera. The other thing that I can do is there's a lot of controls over here. And when I was doing my test this morning, I forgot to turn on lip syncing. So when that's off, it's not recognizing my voice anymore. So I have to turn that one back on. And this character, I played around with some head turners as well. So if I turn that on, I can actually turn my head. But it was doing some weird stuff. So it kind of looked a little creepy.
You look,
So-
you look angry again.
Yeah, so it didn't really work very well. So I turned that one off because it's just not so good. And you can actually move your arms around too. See, I can move my arms and do a little wave just by dragging and dragging. So it's pretty cool.
Can you point to people
Or if
give
I-
a thumbs up? Or
Oh,
is it
you know
just-
what? See these little triggers down here?
Oh,
If I hit the T, that's my thumbs up. And now my hand is a thumbs up.
that's cool.
And if I want to change that to coffee, hit the C button. And now I've got a coffee cup. And if you also see I've got water, but I also have my wine and my beer because I like those two. But it's a little too early for that, so I'm gonna go back to my coffee.
Also, that is way too small of a wine glass. It needs to be a little bigger.
Yeah,
True wine
Yeah.
comes in big glasses.
exactly. But the nice thing is I can actually do some keyframes, so I can actually record a certain spot and then record a series of movements and do that as a replay. So if I wanted to replay a wave, I just hit the W button and it does it automatically as a trigger. Or if I want to drink some coffee, I can just hit a button. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
And I've also I was doing one video where I was counting off certain things that I was doing. So I did a little count like number 1, look, number 2, and number 3. So it's really nice to be able to do this. I've actually got a Elgato Stream Deck plugged in to my computer. So all of these buttons I've got on my little Stream Deck, so I can just click on the buttons rather than clicking on the screen itself, which is pretty cool. And the other thing that I found with Zoom, I can actually go in and change the background. So I've got my living room, but I can actually turn on my green screen. And if I wanted to go in and change some settings within Zoom itself, let's see, I think I can go in and choose my virtual background. And it should be recognized on the Zoom. See up here in the corner, I've got the virtual background. It doesn't show in the Zoom window or in the character animator window, but in my Zoom window, it shows my actual background.
we see you in San Francisco.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Or I can
Oh,
get really
no.
dark. Mhm.
Wow.
And I
That
can
may
even
not be the
go in.
safest place to put your character.
No, I don't think so. But we can always go to the gray version as well, which is pretty cool. Of course, I was playing around with this this morning, doing a little test with my wife, and she said, this background is just perfect for bunny ears. So I didn't quite agree.
Why would Superman kill? How could Superman kill someone with bunny ears?
Exactly. All right, so I'm going to go back to my regular background, and I can turn on my living room again. So one of the other things I wanted to show, I'm gonna actually go back to my Lego character because I really like him. He's really cool. And one of the things I did here is I changed the duration of how quickly his head turns, so it looks a little bit more jerky and more stop motion style. So kind of lends itself to be more of that that Lego stop motion movement. But I can actually go in and show you a little bit about the lip syncing itself. One of the things that I found is in earlier versions of the software, if there was background noise, if my wife and kids were talking in the background, it would capture all the lip syncing that they were doing as well. Sometimes I'm listening to music and the character's singing along to the music, which is kind of cool, unless you're trying to do a live stream or something of that nature. So one of the options is to go in here and go to your preferences. And there's this lip sync option. This camera-based muting is a new feature that they added, I think in version 3, where you can actually drag it up to strong. So it actually has to see your mouth movements in order to show the lip syncing. So if I turn this all the way down to none and someone's talking in the background, it's going to capture everything that they're saying as well as everything I'm saying. So this is pretty cool. And then also this phys detection, that the less, if you go down to the less setting, it only changes the mouth positions every so often. If you go to the more, if you're especially a fast talker like I am, it'll capture each one of those mouth movements as you're going through. See, I can talk really fast and his mouth really moves. And I can smile too. So those are a couple of the other tricks that I've learned. So what do you guys think?
I'm jealous.
That is amazing,
question mark?
David. That's
I want this
absolutely
too.
amazing, yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
How did you
I want to
do?
show up to faculty meetings like this. Like if we do
Oh,
like
yeah.
we do distance faculty meetings, I have to show up in this manner.
Yeah. I haven't been brave enough to do this at work yet. A lot of my colleagues would be open to it, but I've just got to find the right meeting because it could derail the meeting pretty quick.
How did you do the Lego version? Was that something you created, or did you just adapt it
yeah.
from something else?
Yeah, actually, what I did is I went to Turbo Squid and downloaded a Lego 3D model and pulled them into my 3D program and rendered them out. I actually went in and modified the suit, so we had the black suit version. You know, we'll change them a little bit. Added all the reflections and the camera movements and everything else, and just changed his head position. Took another snapshot. And you'll see the reflection of his hair is actually looks pretty realistic. Looks like he's actually really moving his head in place.
It does. It changes with his movements. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You blink it with one eye? Not one eye. Like just like wink,
Nope.
wink.
I can. Actually, that's one of the things you can do. I think it's in the eye gaze or the face. I think it's the face where you can actually move, blink eyes together. So if I turn that off, let's see if this works. Yeah.
There you go.
He's winking at us.
Yeah,
Wait,
I normally turn it off because sometimes it recognizes one or the other and it has a weird effect. So I just turn that off unless I really want to do a little wink. I just do a little trigger for that and just hit the B button or something to do the blink. This is pretty cool.
We should do a blink with one eye and like put your tongue out like an emoji like
Yeah. Well, I think it was the angry one. Yeah. You can see there's two different eyes for that. Unfortunately, when I'm in these positions, it doesn't change the mouth position. Kind of turns it off a little bit. But I can still raise my eyebrows. That's pretty cool.
he's totally talking through his teeth. Like
Yeah.
I cannot believe it.
Yeah. This is very fun. And I actually put this character together in just the past couple of days. So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's
Do you,
awesome.
do you have all of these in the same project, or do you have to keep them separated out?
I actually created them separately and then imported the puppets in. So you can see this guy has a lot. It looks pretty easy until you actually expand it out. So each one of these is different eyebrows. So I've got eyebrows 1 through 6 based on what I want to do. All the various eyes and no nose for this one, fortunately. And
does any Lego character have noses?
I think some of them might, but these are all the various mouth positions. So we've got A's and E's and F's, and everyone has a corresponding position, which is kind of cool.
Now I know you can add a nose, but can you add a mustache?
Oh yeah, I can add anything I want.
Can you add a mustache with Superman?
Oh, I
Yeah.
can
Why would
do
you want to
that.
do that? Come
Oh,
on.
Andy, I think I've got my next update to the character.
Super stash.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I just turned off his mouth too. So let me go back to the scene, see if it worked.
Well, that's one way to shut him up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fortunately, there's a default mouth position, so it always comes back. So the one cool thing about this video that I did is Mike graciously did the music for me, the background music and the intros and outro musics, and they are incredible and very awesome. So
I've never heard any of his music.
wanted to wanted to thank you again, Mike, as I was
No, I appreciate it. No, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, as I was replaying it for my kids and my wife, they were saying, Dad, this is almost too epic. I think you need to tone it down a little bit. But nah, this is good. This is good.
No, it's got to grab you. It's got to have an epic feel to it. Although I have to admit that lately, way too much of my writing has come from Junkie Excel. Obsessed with his style at the moment, like obsessed.
Nothing wrong with that, though.
No, he's
It's true.
all right. So I'm going to stop sharing and go back to my screen. All right. So you guys excited about this Justice Con?
Yeah, I don't. I
Definitely.
haven't seen the lineup yet, but I know there's some good guests coming. So I think Joe Manganiello.
Manganiello?
How do you say it? I always miss.
Joe Manganiello is how I've heard it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Manganiello is how I've always said it too.
Yeah, I've heard various
But
interpretations.
it's like it's like what you were saying on Super Great a few weeks ago. It's like some people say Andy Muschietti, some people say Andy Muschietti. So it's like I it's Manganiello. It's the same thing that I keep hearing, like Manganiello or Manganello or whatever.
Well, somebody will have
Right.
to ask him
Yeah.
to pronounce. We'll have to see if he pronounced it himself,
Yeah.
so we can get it right.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
How do we say your name,
says was the
Susan?
big. What's that going?
I was gonna say, make sure you say it correctly. I really don't want Deathstroke mad at me because I'm mispronouncing.
Oh
his name.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how like Manganiello is easy to say, which is a long last name, and then Yuxes was the biggest mystery for 4 years. Oxex, Yuxes, Yuxa.
Have we settled on Uxas?
Like what Ray Porter said. Like, I mean that if he listen, he's dark side. If he says this is how I say it, I'm like, then
Who are we to disagree?
exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I like it.
And I'm trying to remember some of the other guests that were going to be at Justice Con this year.
Yeah,
Ray-
they're bringing in a
Ray-
lot of they're bringing in a lot of people from Army of the Dead this time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's big.
that's exciting. I'm not normally a zombie person, but I'm really looking forward to that movie.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I like the zombie movies, and this has
I
got
think
a
it's
nice
worth getting
twist.
excited about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked Dawn of the Dead. I just I'm not crazy about zombies in general, but the mystery of the the adventure of going into and I like Las Vegas, so
Yeah.
I think that's what. Even though I think they shot some of it in Atlantic City, I don't know that they
Oh,
actually
really?
shot in Las Vegas. But I like the iconography of Las Vegas, so I'm very
Yeah,
excited about
yeah.
that.
I mean, does any of these TV shows or movies film like in the cities that are actually taking place in? Like again, how like Arrowverse, all American cities in Canada,
Vancouver.
It's the magic of filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that though is if you go to the Arrowverse, now I don't think they ever show it in the live version, but if you watch the Ray, like the Ray and the Freedom Fighters, the cartoon, it's supposed to be set in Tulsa, which is funny because it's my neck of the woods out here, but the areas they show in it are not indicative of what it actually looks like. They have like certain landmarks that they show in the cartoon, but their placement is wrong, and the area around them is wrong. So it's kind of interesting. There's one specific. There's a light up Route 66 sign as you pass kind of toward downtown, and they got that in the show, but then they got it framed around like a bunch of just streets and buildings people could walk down. There's a river that goes right in front of that. You wouldn't have any streets just right in front of that. So sometimes they get it wrong.
Yeah, we were watching something Friday night that was supposed to be based in Chicago, and I think they did some B-roll footage, but everything else was Atlanta. It was actually filmed in Atlanta. It's like that's not in Chicago.
everything seems to be
Yeah,
Atlanta these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Yollywood is what they call it.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice.
Hollywood. Funny note about something that people get wrong. Speaking of Atlanta, I was watching a Designing Women episode where they referred to the 285 interstate, and I was like, nobody calls it the 285. They just call it 285. But somebody
Right.
out in Los Angeles who talks about I guess the 401 or whatever, like they just assume that everybody called it like that. So yeah, sometimes people who are not familiar with those locations don't get it exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool. The Chicago area is cool because, yeah, actually a lot of the filming for Man of Steel was done here. And actually Smallville is in Plano, Illinois, which is only about 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah,
And-
you went out to Smallville, didn't you?
Yeah, they actually have a Smallville Superfest every year. So they actually
Really?
have people go out and, do a little cosplay contest and have little games and everything. It's pretty cool, but you can see some of the old sets and everything. They actually have a lot of the small miniature models in the train station still. And you can go in and see some of the foam blocks that they had for some of the props. And the iconic building with the flag on the side is still there. And the flag is still painted on the side. So if
Why
anyone
has
ever
no
makes it
one
to,
told me this before?
yeah, if you ever make it to Chicago, come out and just do it's about an hour and a half outside of the city, and you can get a photo right there in front of that building. It's so cool.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna have to do that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's awesome.
And then of course downtown, there's a lot of places. When I was commuting, I was going into Union Station every day for work. They did the final scene of Man of Steel in Union Station. The final confrontation between Superman and Zod, and actually saw the set. As I was walking through, they had big curtains around it, but I kind of peeked around a little bit. I wasn't supposed to, but I saw like the broken floor where Zod was laying at the end, and actually got a couple of photos of that before they kicked me out. So
Wait,
I
you have photos of when they were filming his death scene?
No, not during the filming itself. Just as they were kind of cleaning up. No, not during. Yeah, just as they were cleaning up afterwards.
Yeah, that's something where I'm like, wait,
I probably should be wearing my Superman shirt when I'm talking about that. So.
Yeah, like I cannot imagine like how someone would sneak in during a death scene like that.
No. But it was cool because we walked around. We saw all the Metropolis police cars and the taxi cabs and the city buses with all the Metropolis ads on the back of it. It was pretty cool. And the Smallville news truck, the green news truck, was driving around there as well.
Which building in Chicago was the Daily Planet building?
That was actually it used to be called the Sears Tower. That's how people know it by. I think it's now called the Willis Tower, unless they've changed it again. But it's the lobby of the Sears Tower.
I didn't even know they changed it.
Yeah, they changed it several years ago, and they may have changed it again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
last time I was in Chicago, it was probably 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. But then in Batman versus Superman, there was a scene that was filmed on a ferry that kind of goes around technically between Metropolis and Gotham, and Clark. That's how Clark got over to Gotham to do his interviews. They did have one scene where he was walking up to the top of the ferry, and you could see the city skyline in the background. But they filmed some scenes underneath where he was just walking through and bumbling through and bumping into some people before he walked up. And I was actually an extra in that movie, and was sitting there as just an old not an office worker, but a factory worker with my flannels and my hat.
He has a backstory. He has a backstory.
Yeah. So I had the whole get up and everything. And Henry Cavill walked by me like 200 times, just back and forth as they were filming. It was really cool. Just kind of see that in action.
I might actually hate you, but it's fine.
It was cool. Hey, we made eye contact a couple times, so it was pretty cool.
Oh my God, stop talking.
There you go.
Yeah, but I got to see Zach in action. Clay was there, and Larry Fong was there, so it was really cool to see them actually doing their job and interacting, and everyone was just so nice. It was pretty awesome.
I love that Clark Kent took the ferry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He didn't
I
just
was
fly
thinking the
over.
same thing.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that, but he did it because he
Right,
wanted to
right.
be like one of us.
Exactly.
I would love to see like a Zach animated figure and like just you talking as him.
Yeah. I just have to get one drawn. That's actually the hardest part about this process, is actually drawing the characters and actually getting the mouths just right. And even things like on my characters, see how my jaw is kind of going up and down. There's some settings for that too, and man, just tweak after tweak after tweak to get it just right. And sometimes it doesn't always work.
Now, would you suggest this? Now, is this something that you would suggest to somebody who's not super familiar with 3D animation, or is this kind of something you would suggest to somebody who's got a lot more experience with it? I mean, is this something
No,
layman could do with it?
the nice thing about this is you really, if you use a predefined character like this Toll character, the only thing I changed him with him is just the t-shirts. I didn't do anything else. And there's tons and tons of characters. There's a link down below on the video where you can download some of these puppets, and you can just be up and running. And yeah, each one they're either built in Photoshop or Illustrator, and as long as you follow the right structure, you can go in and just make changes to the mouth positions and various elements, and play around with like the position of the eyes. You can kind of look back and forth. I'm actually using a keyboard to change my eye position here, because sometimes, with the glasses on, it doesn't really recognize it very well. But you can kind of control it with other things too. But yeah,
so this is something you could control with your keyboard in a big way as well.
Yeah.
For somebody who's not as familiar with entering all the code, or somebody who's not as familiar with making all this adjustments to the program, there's a simpler way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just getting it set up to stream. I mean, I'm streaming to Zoom, but a lot of people stream to Twitch and to other platforms. They all work very well. I don't use any of those, but
have you tried StreamYard?
I haven't. I've got nothing to stream right now except for this.
I mean, I'm sure people will tune in.
Yeah,
I would love that for Supergirl Radio.
Oh yeah. Well,
there you go.
We can get you set up.
That'd work really well.
Oh my god, animated Rebecca and Morgan said, "Oh my god, animated boardroom ballroom." Or staff judge.
Maybe we could ask.
When they do... Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe we can ask Sarah to draw some characters.
That would.
You mean comic girl?
Yeah.
I thought you meant Sarah as from DC After Dark.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and usually what I use this for is just to actually do the actual animations themselves. So I'll record my voice, and then I can pull it in and actually link up a WAV file to the character, and it'll automatically recognize all the lip sync, and then I can actually go in and clean it up a little bit, because sometimes it doesn't quite match up, but I can go in and make some changes for it to sync up perfectly. And
you pre-record this, so it's not. That was not what you're saying. Like, it doesn't have to be a live stream per se.
Oh yeah.
You pre-record what you're going to say, and then sync it to the character later.
Yeah, absolutely. So in fact, all the videos that I created before the actual live Zoom call were all pre-recorded. I went and did the audio first, and then I synced up the audio with the character. And as the audio was playing, I was doing all the various movements of the arms and changing the shirts. It's a little challenging to try to do everything at once. So one of the things, if you're really going to have an interactive character that's doing a lot of these movements and all the various triggers, it might be good to have someone sitting off to the side, kind of controlling what the hands are doing, and you focus on the talking and the facial movements.
So it's literally a puppet.
Yeah,
it's
really
not
is.
made of felt, but it's
and some people actually
things,
take photos of a felt puppet and assemble them into the pieces. So yeah, if I let me share my screen again, I'll show you what this character looks like. He's pretty simple. You just go into his character, and if I go into edit original, that'll actually open up either the Illustrator or the Photoshop file. And this is Photoshop. It's opening up on my other window, so I'll drag it over as soon as it gets open. But you can see there's a lot of various elements here, and I will drag, not that one, that one. So this is just a Photoshop file. And you see there's all these various layers, and each one of these layers is tied to a various element.
Oh, okay.
And some you have to have the naming sequence perfectly aligned with what it does. So when you pull it in, it'll automatically recognize the left eye, right eye, all the various elements, and assign it to those body parts in the program. But you can add quite a bit of other things. So the only thing I went in and added was all these t-shirts, and that's the only thing I did for this particular character. Everything else is predefined. And then you can see it, like the body movements, and it actually has a draggable arm, so you can create the skeleton. So as you're dragging it, it'll bend at the elbow and keep this part straight. Like the tail, you can't really see it. There's a dangle option, so that's actually tied to physics. So if you're actually in the character itself, if I go back and look at him, I can actually move him up a little bit. Let's move him not down, up. You can see his tail's wagging back and forth.
Oh, nice.
It's all based on the movement. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And I don't think the hand triggers were working quite good on this one, but with my character, I was able to kind of control his arms and everything. And they have walk cycles too. So if you want the character to be walking back and forth, you can do a little walk cycle if you've got him rigged properly. A lot of fun. I spent a lot of time with this program. It's a good one.
I kind of want you to just like do like a flash, like animate like flash to go along with the Superman one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do all of them, like do Supergirl one.
Oh yeah, I could do a whole series. I mean, that's what I was trying to do with
Yeah.
my little dinosaur superheroes, the Jurassic League. So I was gonna have a dinosaur version of every character and have them interact and everything. And I probably will do that one day when I have more time. And that's his smile, by the way. Kind of an odd smile.
I mean, we've seen weirder smiles in in certain edited movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We don't know how dinosaurs smiled, so that
that's
could have been
That's true.
happened.
See, when I was a kid,
speaking as a dad with little kids, it looks like something off of like Dinosaur Train, the like PBS cartoon.
Oh yeah.
show.
Oh yeah. I think that's
has that
probably
same feel to
where
it.
I got the idea.
With Dinosaur Train, yeah. Kind
Yeah.
of looks like that.
Yeah. I actually had there was a guy that creates various characters for what was formerly known as Adobe Flash, and now it's called Adobe Animate. He created a lot of characters for that application. He had it wasn't a dinosaur. I think it was an alligator that looked real similar. So I reached out to him and said, "Hey, do you do any freelance work? Because I really want to do this dinosaur series." And he actually drew this character for me, and drew the
That's awesome.
Batman pterodactyl version. I don't have him animated though.
That's so cool looking.
Yeah.
Does the
Of course, that's also why I've heard that Barry Allen breaks a sheet of glass in Zack Snyder's Justice League because Windows no longer supports Flash.
Yeah, I love that. Classic.
Does the dinosaur have a tail that he wags?
He does. Let me see if I can have him jump up a little bit.
I love
Let
the
me
tail
find
wagging.
him.
It's such a nice choice.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
Oh,
This is,
keep
I mean,
going
it's
on.
really incredible drawing. I mean, it's very
Yep.
well done.
Yep.
No,
I love his boots.
Oh yeah, you like those boots?
you gotta have the red boots.
Yeah, you have
Mhm.
to. That's awesome.
Oh, good lord!
Yeah, and even the D is made out of bones.
Oh, I did not notice the spit curl. I love the spit
Oh,
curl. It's just
yeah.
I don't know why I just not saw that, but that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That
Can
one
you make
bounces
go-
up and down.
Can you make him go into the cave or like fly or something?
Not yet. Working on it. You'll see
Well,
more.
sounds like there's a lot of possibilities here. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
really get good at it, or if you're really get advanced to this, there's a ton of possibilities for
Oh
what
yeah,
to do.
tons. And I just love the fact that you can do this live. I mean, that's the real advantage of this program, is being able to just interact with people as a character. Yeah.
I mean,
Anyways.
listen, I would kill for like just like if I like interviewing like let's say Rebecca and I interview like Chris Terra, and we just sit there as like Lego figures of whoever.
Chris Terrio would probably critique the physics of everything, and all
Hey,
the-
but I would
the
I would learn
details.
from that. And I would adapt. That's what I would do.
Because he's so smart and he does all that research. He'd
Exactly.
probably know all
He
those
might- true.
details.
Rebecca, I think you may have met your equal in the Google Docking. I would not be yes.
He seems like he's very thorough in his research.
So love it. Well, thanks for joining me, everyone. This has kind of
thank
been
you.
fun. And
Man, thanks for having us. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Can he
There
give a
you go.
thumbs up?
he can't, but I can.
Okay.
So if
Well, I guess Legos don't have.
Well, so he
thumbs,
doesn't have
really.
thumb. He has a clock.
Yeah. they
Right,
have a-
exactly.
yeah.
yeah, so no thumbs for that guy, but I can certainly give a thumbs up. Just need to make sure I'm touching the right.
Was that in the Lego movie?
There we
with,
go.
Nice.
Wait, how about we all do?
with bad cop where he brings up, he says, "Don't you see the quotations I make you with my little claw ends? It means I don't believe you."
How about we all do thumbs up and we take a screenshot of this for after, of course, when it's
All right,
done up.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3. Nice. All right, thanks everyone. I'll have one more
Thank
sip,
you.
Thank you,
more sip of
David.
coffee, and then we will talk to everyone later.
Right.
Nice.
Bye.
See
All
ya.
right,
Good,
take
bye,
care.
guys.
Thanks for joining, and be sure to check out the links below for more information.